Hello everyone! Want a fun project using free 1-yard cuts? Then you are in the right place. Today I'll showcase what you can do with some Cotton Cuts Modern Maker Box fabric. My name is Katy from Greenland Quilter. I'm excited to show you this, so let's dive in. Okay, so let's talk about the Modern Maker Box. Every Modern Maker membership comes with 3 1-yard cuts of fabric from a modern and new fabric collection. Your choice of pattern from our Designer of the Month, a spool of Qaqortoq thread, a collectible Cotton Cuts Color Challenge block, their signature number Quilty Truth pencil, and you also qualify for 25% off all fabric in their fabric shop every day. The Modern Maker Box ships on the 15th of every month, so you must have your order placed before 11:59 p.m. on the 12th to receive that month's delivery. Do you want a modern box that's smaller? They have something called the mini Modern Maker Box, and that basically comes with 3 half-yard cuts of fabric from a modern and new fabric collection. It still comes with the Qaqortoq thread, the Cotton Cuts Color Challenge block, their signature number Quilty Truth pencil, and you still are going to get 25% off fabric in their shop every day. You just have to make sure that if you're going to sign up for the Modern Maker Box, that you get your order placed by 11:59 p.m. on the 12th to receive this month's delivery. So that is the short of the Modern Maker Box, and as you continue to follow the video, I will be sharing everything about it. So let's get started.
Wait. Yeah, that's it. So, okay. So let's go ahead and open this box. So as you know, it comes in this classic purple box, or maroon, whichever color you want to call it. And inside is, I had already pulled the tissue off so that I could get into this quickly enough. So we're going to, first we're going to look at the cards. The first card says, behind every quilter is a huge pile of fabric. And on the back, it's going to show us what this modern box is about. So, welcome to your May box. This month, your box features 3 cuts from this brand new collection. And it's Botanica by Sally Kelly for Wyndham Fabrics, and Cotton Cuts is sponsoring it. So, there's this card. The next card is let's meet the Spotlight designer, who is Ingrid Altinider. You can learn all about her in your box as well, and she also has many links down here as well. And on the back there is 4 patterns that you can choose from. You get to pick one for free, and a code is on the back of this card so that you can purchase it for free. No money required, but only for one. And then we have what they call the Cotton Cuts block of the month, and this is the front of the book. And so this has to do with not only making the block, but also you can sew the block, but you can also color it on the back. And then if you enter a colored card and a sewed piece, and use the hashtag hashtag CC Color Challenge for a chance to win a prize. So there's that. And then the next thing comes in here is we got a pencil that says Quilters Don't Hoard Fabric. And you also get a small spool or Qaqortoq thread, and this looks like a pink. So it's really nice. Okay, now we're going to take the box out of the box. And let's get down to it. So in the description box below this video, Let me know which fabric that you like the best out of these 3 1-yard pieces. I would really like to know. And so here's the first one. This is pretty. And this, as I mentioned earlier, this is by Sally Kelly. And it's style number 54014. And this is by some textile company, but I'm not sure. So the Wyndham Fabrics presents Botanica by Sally Kelly. And here's the selvage of what it looks like. So this is the first piece. Our second piece is this pink. And it's by the Botanica fabric line. So we have this color. And then we have this next one. Which consists of these really colorful flowers. Okay, so this is what came in this box of modern fabric. So I am going to sew a block using the Cotton Cuts color card, and I'm also going to use a background so that I can make this happen. So stay tuned. Okay, so we're picking up from the last spot we were talking about when it came to the Modern Maker box and what comes in the Modern Maker box. So now we're going to revisit this subject of the Cotton Cuts color challenge. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this Cotton Cuts block of the month for the color challenge using the fabric that we got in the Modern Maker box, along with the background that I am going to use with the Modern Maker fabric. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew, well, if you notice, these are done in quarter block increments. So you have 4 blocks that you're going to sew to make the whole block. So I'm going to show you how to sew one of them. Also, all you needed to do is just follow the instructions here on what size block, triangles and everything you need to cut. Since this is a Cotton Cuts pattern, I'm not going to type in the information in the description box because I'm not sure if I'm allowed to do that. I'll have to talk to Kim to find out about that part. And I will get back to you when I know the answer to that. So anyway, let's get started on sewing a quarter block. So I have already cut all my fabric and I have it all laid out and labeled. Okay. And this is using all that came in the Modern Maker box except for the white, which is the background that I'm using to help with this. I don't know why this looks weird. It looks like it's upside down. But maybe it isn't. Okay, so anyway, it doesn't matter. I just wanted you to see the layout. So you have A, which is the 2 white, which would have been the yellow on the card. You have B, which is these, looks like poppies. C is the pink, and D is this really colorful piece. And when I sew the block together, it won't look like this because, of course, because this is using solids. But when I get the quarter block made, then you should be able to start to see the pattern that comes out of it. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to sew the 2 larger triangles, A and D, together, and I'm going to sew A and B together, and then we're going to piece it from there.
So let me go ahead and start doing that. I'm going to use a 1/4 inch seam because that's what I always use. I don't do a scant or anything else like that because I just don't know why I need to. If you stake when you're sewing a 1/4 inch seam, if it's a regular 1/4 inch seam or if it's a generous 1/4 inch seam or a scant, as long as you're staying consistent, your blocks will come out, okay? And you should have no trouble. Now, you got to keep in mind that there is lots of bias in this block, and those bias will stretch if you're not being good to it. So keep that in mind. Don't be pulling and pushing because you don't want to stretch that bias because then it'll make the block look wonky. I'm going to sew this one first together. Then I am going to take A and B and sew that together. And the reason I'm doing it like this is because I like to sew several things at once. That way I can, be efficient on how long it takes me to make something. I'm a slow sewer, so it does take me a little bit longer to do things, but I wanted to show you how I got this block and how I designed it, and you can see what I'm doing. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to pause and go press both blocks. Okay, so I have the two bigger blocks that I've sewn together. They look like this now. Okay, and I'm going to lay this back on my design board so that you can see what's going to happen here. I haven't trimmed the dog ears off of them yet, so no worries there. You'll see what will happen. And here's the other block that needed to be made. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I have it going in the right direction. It's going to go in this direction. And I have not put the dog ears off here either. And I also pressed to the darker side of the fabric. So right now they're on the colored side. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew B. This is B. And I'm going to sew it to this half square triangle block. And then when I have these two sewn together, wait, let me turn it so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, let me try that again. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew B over here to the side of A. And once I've done that, then I'm going to take C and sew it to the side of B. And that will make a whole half triangle. And then I will sew this part of the triangle to this part of the triangle. And we will go from there. And I figure out why I can't make this camera see what I wanted to see. Anyway, yeah. So that's what we're going to do. So let me go ahead and get ready to do that. So let's go ahead and grab up B and the AB half square triangle. I'm going to lay it over on top, and then I'm going to pin it so that I don't have any loosey-goosey going on. More pins. All right. Pin it to the other end, and then I'll go ahead and sew it. So let's go ahead and sew this part. So right now I have 3 pieces I have to sew, or 2 more pieces to add to this piece. The one I'm adding now plus the second one, and then we can put all pieces together. We'll have to do this part first. Okay, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to press it. And I will press toward B, which is the dark color part of this. And I'm going to finger press and use my little roller. And then I'll take it over to the iron and give it a quick press. I want this stuff laying flat. Okay. Now that we've done that, now you should be able to see that now I have B on here. Now we're going to add C. And this will be C right here. C's right here. So let me move that aside. And we're going to put it over the top so that we don't make a mistake. And we're going to pin it to that side. And we'll sew it on. All right, so let's go ahead and sew this one on. Okay, we got that side done. Let's cut it. And I'm going to finger press, and then I'll take it over to the iron and press it. Also, there is some dog ears down here on the end of this that I'm going to go ahead and just cut off with my scissors so that I can just get them out of the way. And then I will finger press and use the roller, and then I'll have another dog ear that I'll need to get rid of. But there's dog ears on the other one too that I need to trim off. Okay, so let me go press it and give you a look at it so you can see what it looks like now. Okay. Okay. This one still has some dog ears left on it that I've got to deal with also. So now what you see here is the other half of this. So we've got A, B. Well, let me go here. A, B, C, D, and then A over here. So now what we've got to do is we've got to sew this together and make sure we can get this center seam to match. Okay. And then I'll just finish, I'll finish trimming all the dog ears and stuff off once I've got that sewn together. So let me go ahead and remove all the alphabetties. Then we're going to come over here, and looks like I need to turn the direction of the seam. So I'm going to switch the seam direction on this one because I'm going to nest them. Okay, now that I've done that, let's go ahead and get it laid on here. The first thing I want to do is I'm going to take a pin and I'm going to put it through the center of the point, right at the tip of that point so that I can make sure this all lays flat. And the point doesn't get cut off when you're sewing it. And then I'll nest the seam. Okay, I've got that done. Now let's go ahead and pin the corners first. I always do that because I feel like that you can get that line straightened up a lot faster, that straight line that you're looking for before you do the seam. By doing that, you already got them pinned down on the corners, and then all you have left to do is get the center the way you want it. And then it'll be ready to go. So let me make sure I got my stuff all nested properly. And it looks like I do. So let's get that pin in so I don't lose that point. Okay. I know you can't see what I'm doing, but I haven't got figured out how to set up a camera where you can actually see what I'm doing up close like this. But That takes time. And we all know that I'm learning. So once I figure that out, y'all will start seeing better shots of things like this that you can't see, even though, you know, and I get it because I'm a visual learner, and if I can't see it, then you're not, you know, I have a hard time, you know, deriving and understanding sometimes of how something's supposed to look. And I, you know, yeah. Okay, I got this pin. Let me get that pin out of the middle. All right, let's go ahead and sew these two side seams together, or the side seam together. Oh, you gotta get off my foot. Nora is under my desk, and she's got her body planted between me and my sewing machine foot that runs the machine. Now I want to make sure that when I come through here, before I pull a pin, I want to make sure that I have my center sitting right, but also I don't want to sew over the tip of the triangle. So you have to be careful of both things happening. Okay, so I'm about to get this one done. Okay, now then, let me go over and press it. I'm going to pause again, and then we will come back to it again. Okay, so now we have the block completely sewn together. And I will, I'll take the alphabetes off of it so I can show it to the other camera. Since it will fall, the alphabetes are gonna fall off anyway. I just need to trim the dog ears off and it'll be ready to go. So this is what the block actually looks like, okay? So now what I'm gonna do is I've already sewn the other three on the pause because I didn't want to make the video too long, but I'm also gonna pause it again. Okay, so the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sew two together, and then when I've sewn the two together, we will sew both rows together, and that will make the block. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it sitting here, but I'm going to turn these so that I could go ahead and start lining them up. All right. Starting with this one, I want to get that center seam to match on both corners there. That way we have a correct block. And I'm not telling you to look for perfection. I'm just, you do the best that you can do, and you do you. And I need to cut these little ear things off. All right, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it the back down right here to see if that seam is lining up, and it is. So I'm going to put it back, and I'm going to put a pin in it. And then I'll go down here to the other end. Now this one has two seams. The seams are going in two different directions. Oh, I need to take the dog ear off. Let me get that off. Let's get that off so it's not annoying, teasing me. And all I got to do here is just make sure that these two seams nest, because this is not an open seam. And then once I have that done, pin it so it doesn't go anywhere. Okay. Then the next thing we'll do is I'm going to put a center pin in here just because I kind of do a little overkill here because I don't want things moving around. Okay, then I'll turn it the other direction so I can see what I'm doing. And we will sew these two sides together as soon as I get my dog off my sewing machine foot. She keeps laying on it. I think it's only because she wants me to stop what I'm doing and pay attention to her. but I have a job to do. Now we're going to do the same thing to this one. This seam's on one side, and then make sure the other side matches because I have that seam open. And this looks like it's matching, so I'm going to pin it. And then come over here to this side. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to open it up where I can look at it to see if that seam is matching, which it is. And then I'm going to give it one more pin in the middle for stability. And then we're going to sew that side together. Okay. All right. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take them out and have a look at them. And if I think that if I'm not happy with how something's lining up, now is the time to do it before we sew the two halves together to make the whole block. Okay, so let me have a look here and see how things are looking. This one looks okay on that side. It's okay on that side. And let's have another look see at this one also. Looks good on that end. Looks good on that end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause and press. Okay, so what I did was I pressed them, and I also pressed this seam here open because I want this very middle to lay better. So this block is going to have partial seams where the seams are all the way open, pressed open, while parts of it have the seams are to one side. So, but that was the way I decided to do this block so that I could get my points to look really good. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to sew this down the center here, and this block will be complete. So the first thing I need to do, that I usually do every time, is I notice that sometimes, because when you tell your machine to cut thread, it leaves like a little tail. So first thing I wanted to do was to dispose of that little tail so it's out of my way and not creating bulk. And I'm going to put my pin right through the center where the tip of this triangle is, and I'm going to do the same thing to the other side of the block so that I have this lined up the way I want it and make sure it comes out the right way at the end. First, I'm going to pin corner to corner first, and then we'll come back and finish the pinning process of the middle. So let's get this pin first, and then we're going to go ahead and pin the other side. And because these are open seams, it's easy for me to line everything up, and I will double check and make sure that these are lined up, which they are. Pin this side. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to have to use my machine light so I can see what I'm doing. I'm going to align this so that the seams are nested while not losing the point of the triangles on both sides of this block, because the center of the block has this point that's going to be right in front of each other. And I want to make sure I get it lined up properly so there's no mishap without stretching anything, that is, because it's very easy to stretch these triangles because they're on the bias. And we have lots of bias seams in this particular block. I mean, a boatload of them. Okay, so I've got this pinned the way I want it. Now all I'm going to do is I'm just going to take my time and sew this seam to make sure that I don't mess anything up. Uh-oh, almost forgot to take that pin out of the middle. Okay. All right. When I get up to where I got to get, I need to make sure that when I get up here that my seam is just like a couple threads over from where that point is so that we don't run over the point. We want the point to show in the block because that'll be part of what enhances how the block looks, which is what you want. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get my needle where I want it. I'll pull one of the pins out. As soon as I hit that point, that sweet spot, I'm going to take the other pin out. And I have one more pin right there, and then that's it, other than the one on the end. And then we are finished with that center line. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause and press. Okay, so this is the finished block. And this is for the, this will be for May's Cotton Cuts Modern Maker box that I also did the Cotton Cuts color challenge with. And this is how it turned out. Isn't that cool? It really came out nice, actually. I hope there's no mistakes. So this is what you can do with some Modern Maker fabric from Cotton Cuts. And you can you even, as I pointed out before, you can either take the Cotton Cuts color challenge card that you get in the box to make your, to make lots of blocks out of that fabric, or you can come up with your own plan. You can download one of the patterns that you got for free from the designer of the month patterns. Which, hang on a minute, I'm going to cover up the code. You could choose any of these to have used that fabric for. I mean, the sky is the limit on this. So I hope that you enjoyed my little, my first Cotton Cuts Modern Maker box, box opening, as well as my first tutorial on how to make this block. So I hope you enjoyed what I did, and I hope you love the block. I think it looks great. I would have never thought to do this with these colors, and I have had fun doing the color design for it, and it's been loads of fun. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the tutorial. Make sure to please like and subscribe if you're not subscribed to my channel. Also, you can become a member of the channel, and it'll help me get my hands on more technology. I need better lighting for my sewing room and for my YouTubing, and I need another camera. There's all kinds of things I need right now, and it's just taking time, and I appreciate all of y'all's support. Try sharing my channel with other people, and let's see what we can do. Okay, so again, make sure you live, laugh, love, dream, but the biggest thing of all, create something. Have a great day, and see you on the next video.
So as you can see, there is quite a bit of things that you can do with a Modern Maker box. I took the colors from the box and made this Cotton Cuts Color Challenge block with it so that you can see what the fabric looks like, and I just added a background to help accent the colors. There is also a code that you can use when you go sign up for the Cotton Cuts Modern Maker box. Just use the code Greenland. And I hope that you enjoyed my video. So thank you. Make sure to live, laugh, love, dream, and create. Stay tuned because I'll be making something with the rest of this fabric. Have a great day. Bye.